I'm Margot True. I'm the food editor here at Sunset Magazine in Oakland, California. And with me today is Louise Marquis. She's the portfolio ambassador for Campari America. And she's going to do a beautiful bevy of drinks for Cinco de Mayo, right?
Yeah, that was the idea. We were thinking about how to do drinks for Cinco de Mayo sort of beyond the expected margarita. So I'm going to start with the Paloma. Sound good? I'm going to make two because this is one of my favorite drinks, and I'm not going to share with you.
You're going to drink two?
Yeah, we'll make one for each of us. So what I love about this drink is that it's a tequila drink, but it's a little different from the margarita. And you can make it in the glass, so it's really easy to make at home. It's not an intimidating cocktail to make by yourself or for your friends at home. You don't need all the fancy bar tools. So you're just gonna put in half an ounce of lime juice, and then we're gonna add 2 ounces of Espolòn tequila. So this is a 100% blue agave, beautiful tequila.
And can you say a little bit about blue agave and what that is for people who might not know?
So there's a whole category of spirits called mezcal, which is a whole family of spirits that are made from the agave plant. The finest, the most refined, and the most famous is tequila. So tequila is technically, if you want to get really nerdy, technically a mezcal. But the blue agave became known for its properties as being the best for making the best spirit. And so the region where they make tequila set about some rules and said we're gonna only make tequila here, and we're only gonna make it from this plant to make it consistent. This is fun and messy. Cocktails at home. So I have my my half ounce of lime juice, 2 ounces of tequila, and then we're just gonna top it with a little grapefruit soda. And you can use any grapefruit soda you like. So if we have Jarritos, we have Squirt. You can find really fancy, beautiful ones at your fancy grocery store.
And Jarritos is a Mexican grapefruit soda,
It is,
right?
and that's kind of the traditional classic recipe.
Yeah.
So
and can you also use grapefruit juice if you wanted to?
You can. So if you wanted to use grapefruit juice, you could just do 2 ounces of grapefruit juice and some soda water.
Okay.
And that'll get you. It's just not as fizzy. And the thing I love about the Paloma is it's a little bit of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
And a little bit fizzy and fun and kind of perfect for a hot day, especially this weather you're having here. This is crazy.
It's beautiful. And you just sprinkled.
I put a little bit of salt. So a little bit of salt. You know cooking, you know food, so you know that salt just opens up the palate a little bit, opens up some flavors.
Right.
And I love salty grapefruit. To me, like a salty dog, those drinks are some of my favorite cocktails to make and drink, especially when you're looking to be refreshing. So this is what we have. We're on a little bit of a mission to get people being a little more eco-friendly with straws. So I've used a paper straw.
Paper straw.
You can find them anywhere from your drugstore, grocery store. They're kind of popping up all over because they are more eco-friendly.
Yeah.
Want to try it?
Of course.
Cheers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So this drink has such a lovely name.
It's so delicious.
Oh, that's really good.
It's really good.
That is really good.
It's kind of too good.
I'm definitely going to drink this.
I'm going to save this.
I'm going to drink this tonight.
Yeah.
I'm drinking right now.
You're drinking right now?
No, I won't. It's really, really good.
Good. I'm glad you like it. Yeah. Wherever we put it here. Yeah.
Okay. I'll put it over here.
Sure. Keep looking at
it.
it.
And then, so the Paloma, does it have any sort of meaning that it's named after, that has the Spanish name for dove?
Yeah.
Does that, or?
I think a lot of cocktails are named after beautiful women. And I imagine
guess.
that's probably what happened. I don't have a good story for why it's named the Paloma. Maybe the internet will tell me.
Yes.
Probably. So now I'm going to do a tequila old fashioned.
Okay.
So old fashions are probably the #1 most requested cocktail right now besides the margarita. People love old fashions. Old fashioned just means an old fashioned cocktail. So when cocktails were first created, an old-fashioned cocktail or a cocktail was a combination of spirit, sugar, and bitters with a little bit of water. So you could have a gin cocktail or a whiskey cocktail or a brandy cocktail. And over time, that became sort of old-fashioned to drink that way. So they called it an old-fashioned cocktail. And they left the cocktail at the end. They just called it an old-fashioned. So we're going to take some liberty and play with this idea and this tradition. So we're going to do a tequila old-fashioned.
Yeah, exciting.
We're going to start with our sugar cube. This is also another easy one to make at home. So we're going to start with just 1 sugar cube. We're going to use some Angostura bitters. We're going to just do 2 dashes. 2 dashes of that. And then we're also going to use some Aztec chocolate bitters.
Wow.
Because that sounded delicious to me.
Yeah. Now, Fee Brothers, they do a lot of great bitters, don't they?
They do great bitters. They really know how to capture flavor. They do a really wide range. I like their grapefruit bitters. They do some really, really delicious ones. And I love this one, so I wanted to bring that along. So with an old fashioned, you want to just have a teeny tiny bit of water.
And is that to melt the cube?
That's to melt the cube.
Okay.
And this is what we call cocktail water. So we're going to make our cocktail water. So we're just going to mash it up, smush it around. So there's some confusion about the old fashioned. People think that you're supposed to smush oranges and cherries into it.
No.
No, I mean you can because
I've had many a old fashioned. Right.
you are welcome to have that if you like that. Could you get me those big ice cubes? Would you mind? No, you can do that. It's just that's what happened during the kind of after Prohibition. People didn't know how to make cocktails anymore. They wanted to make things taste better. So they remembered seeing an orange peel in it or a cherry in their drink, but they didn't know why, and they just started smushing it in to make it taste better.
Oh, because of so much horrible tasting alcohol during
Yeah, there's a lot of
Prohibition?
drinks we get to blame on Prohibition.
Ah.
So this is 2 ounces of Espolón Añejo tequila. So this is a tequila that's aged 10 months in New American oak and then finished for 2 months in bourbon barrels at the end.
Oh,
so
wow.
you get that oak, then you also get a little bit of that bourbon heat just at the end, the
So
spice.
is it sort of caramelly, as one would expect from
Yeah, so you get a nice
oak?
little caramel. But we really wanted, when we made Espolón, when they created it, they really wanted to create a tequila that was really, let's see if I don't make a mess here. Whoop, there we go. They wanted it to be really true to their Mexican heritage. I'm
You know,
used to
I have a question about these spoons.
Yeah.
Why the spoon? That's basically.
Well, how else do you stir this?
Well, I mean, with a little spoon. I
With
mean,
a little
this-
spoon.
what is the,
So yes, I think over the last 10 years, the spoons have gotten sort of absurd. But I think there's something very, I don't know, I love stirring drinks, and I think there's something really beautiful about the way we stir drinks.
well, this particular shape of spoon too lets you twirl it.
It lets you
right?
twirl it, and it's designed, the way it's designed is to be held and then turned. So when you, these glasses are a little bit funny because they're square. Usually I have a round glass. So usually when you stir, you want to just keep your bar spoon to the outside of the glass. I did an event the other day, and my very sweet bartender was a little bit lost, and he'd never done this before, and he kept trying to like use his elbow to do it. And I said, no, it's all in your hands and your wrist.
Right. And it's beautiful to watch too.
Yeah, it's
Makes
really
you want
elegant.
to order another one.
Doesn't it? It's like ballet. I always compared
Yeah.
bartenders to dancers. So we have our old fashioned, and then I wanted to just show you how to do a really beautiful orange peel, since we have people watching at home.
Yes.
So to garnish this drink, we're going to take just a Y peeler and an orange. You want to hold it steady in your hand, and then pull that peel. So you want a big fat peel.
You cannot do this with a swivel peeler.
I wouldn't try it. You can. That's like next tier up. That's a little bit. It would make me very nervous. I feel more safe advocating for this kind of peeler just because you have the most control over the thing. With the swivel peeler, it ends up being a little bit scary.
Okay. Traction, in other words, sort of. Right?
Yes, yeah. I had some bar accidents when I was a bartender. So
Oh
then
my.
I work with Italians, so they do things very neat and clean. So I'm gonna just cut the edges.
Wow.
This is like the bonus points at home. You don't have to do this, but they are meticulous. So I've been
so
learning from
that's how it
them.
happens.
So we're gonna cut here, and we have this really beautiful orange peel. And then the most important part is we're gonna express this oil. So orange oil, essential oil, is in the skin of the orange. And what we wanna do is just burst it across the top of the glass.
Ooh.
And then just to give you all that aromatics when you take your sip, we're gonna rub it around the inside and then just drop it in there.
Oh man. So little orange molecules are falling into the glass.
All those essential oils are going in, and they're gonna mix in with the chocolate, with the tequila, and it's gonna taste delicious, I think.
Oh,
Let's see, let's
man.
try. You're my tester.
Sure.
Yeah. I
How
should
many
make 2.
cocktails again?
5. It's gonna be great.
Oh, this is so lovely.
So it's a little different. This is going to be boozier, very spirit forward, with a little bit of that chocolate and those baking spices, and kind
man.
of brings out a different side of tequila.
That's so nice.
Do you like it?
Really so nice. The chocolate kind of smooths the whole thing, and there are these little the caramel is really coming through.
Good, good. That's one of the things I love about tequila is it has this very caramel flavor to it.
With
I'll try not to get you. Yeah, you can pick your favorite at the end. That's fine. Big favorite.
But I know there's more to come. So.
Okay, so next I need that chipped ice. Yeah.
Right.
So then, going out of the tequila world, we wanted to play around with some Mexican flavors that weren't necessarily tequila. So to me, my favorite thing that I order, as my guilty pleasure, is I order horchata.
Oh yes.
So good.
Horchata.
So, and to me, nothing pairs better with horchata than rum. So we're gonna use Appleton Estate Reserve Blend.
I have to ask you though, again, for people who might not know, horchata, here in this country and in Mexico, it's usually made with ground rice.
It's ground rice, yeah. So I think that's a common misconception is that it's made with cream or that it's creamy. It's actually vegan if you order it from the right place, and it's made traditionally. It's made with rice, water. It's traditionally soaked overnight, and then you can add almonds, and then you add cinnamon and flavor. I made the quick and dirty horchata today. So I just bought rice milk. I blended it, rice milk, coconut milk, and almond milk. I blended them together and then added cinnamon simple syrup. So it's really easy to make at home, and it takes half an hour versus waiting for it to soak and then strain it and then overnight. I knew I wanted to do it because I wanted to do something that was easy and approachable for your viewers.
Sure.
You can also just like buy horchata. That's an option too. But you can also make it if you want. There's lots of recipes online for how to do it. We're gonna start with 2 ounces of Appleton Estate rum. This is really easy.
Now, you know, of all the rums in the world, there's so many characters and character profiles.
Yeah. Of all the rums in all the world, I love Appleton the best. It's not because they pay me.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what is the character of this rum? Is it a particularly smooth one? Is it lively? Is it?
Appleton rum to me is like it's dark, it's caramelly, but it has a little bit of that citrus note that I really love in kind of in a dark rum. It pairs, you know, you just kind of just wants like a squeeze of lime. But then the thing about Jamaican rum is that it has a little bit of extra funk. We call it the funk, and it has this extra quality to it that makes it a little bit. It's a little bit funky. It's a little bit different. It has like a little bit of an umami flavor to it that makes me really love Appleton. You can even just like smell the bottle.
Yeah, here. Glass or something?
Yeah, here, let me give you a little taste of this. Let's see. Well, we can use one of these.
Could we repurpose?
Yeah.
I'm curious.
Now we're just drinking on set.
We're just drinking.
So this is made by Joy Spence, who's our master blender, and she is the first female master blender in the world. She's an incredible woman. She's very funny and delightful. Isn't that yummy?
Yes, it is. Yeah. Now, by funk, do you mean the earthy? No, it is earthy.
Yeah.
Earthy but smooth.
Smooth and easy to drink, and it's very finished and polished. It has that age on it. It's a minimum of 8 years that it's going to spend.
Okay.
And when you age in a tropical climate, you actually get more age on it because it's so much hotter.
Right. Now, so I have to ask you a question about bartending.
Yeah, sure.
How did you become a bartender? You know, it's not.
Well, yeah. I think I became a bartender like a lot of people become a bartender, which was that I was not a very good actor. So, so I had gone to theater school and I was going to be an actor, and I loved that whole world. And I needed a job. I was living in LA. I was 23, and I was really tough, and I needed something to do. And I started waiting tables, and I worked at this really fancy caviar restaurant.
Oh, nice.
And I sold this so I'm a vegetarian, so so I wasn't very good at selling caviar, obviously, and then I wasn't very good at selling wine because I don't eat meat. So for me, the pairings of meat and wine are so integral, and to sell wine was actually really challenging for me. 1 second, I'm gonna routine. Let's see if we can get this open.
Now, is it true you're supposed to shake until your hands hurt? I've read that.
Oh, that could be true. Yeah. I shake until it's frosty. So you see how it got really frosty like that, and I shook it. You don't want to overshake it. You don't want to undershake it. You sort of, as you learn to shake, let's see, I'll show you on the next one. As you shake, you learn to kind of read the shaker and feel the shaker out and make sure you're doing it enough, but it doesn't get too watered down. Okay. The key to cocktails is dilution and knowing kind of when it's time to strain out your glass or stop stirring. But you can feel it, and it's really when it gets icy like this is when you want to So then I put my strainer over it. I'm just going to strain into here.
So all this is the horchata.
The horchata, the rum, and that's it.
And that was it.
And that was it. And so then I'm going to top it with a little bit of grated cinnamon.
Ah.
Maybe. There you go. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
So this is the same thing you use for nutmeg. The
Same
kind
thing.
of grinder.
Yeah, same kind of grinder. Just a little bit like a microplane or a nutmeg works. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of coconut flakes because that sounds yummy to me. Little coconut flakes on top.
Oh, nice.
And then we'll put a pretty straw on it.
Are these sweetened coconut flakes?
No, they're just regular coconut flakes. I saw them. I thought they would look pretty in that drink. And they're going to taste good because I will, as we'll find out later, drink anything if there's coconut in it.
Yes.
So
you appear to have an abiding love of coconut.
I really love coconut.
Judging from your social media
It's
pages.
a little embarrassing. No shame in my coconut game.
Coconuts are great.
Would you like to taste it?
I would.
Yeah, go for it. It smells delicious. It smells like, so this is going to be a little more seasonal. This would also be great. What's funny about horchata is it's like almost a Christmas drink, but then you drink it when it's hot out.
Oh, that's lovely.
Good.
Wow.
So it's
really
sort of
nice.
unexpected because you get all these baking spices and all this like rich kind of creamy flavor, but then it's also really refreshing and because there's no dairy in it.
It's like a super light eggnog.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is very, very, very good.
So the next one, we're gonna keep you on your feet.
Let us proceed.
Okay, so the next one, we're gonna do the agua fresca. So I wanted to do something that people could mix for their friends at home and something that was, we want the new ice, the ice cube tray ice we'll do for that. We got fancy with our ice today. So we had some hand chipped ice, some machine ice. This is ice you can just make at home in a normal ice cube tray. But these are nice shape.
How did you make these?
These come in silicone trays. These are 2x2s usually. So these you can buy them on Amazon or wherever you buy your cooking supplies. And these are just silicone trays that are formed for ice cubes. I mean for like old fashioned ice cubes.
For big giant ones.
Yeah, and you can easy Google search find them.
Right. And the benefit of this is that they just melt more slowly.
Yeah, so you can see it even on this one. It still is pretty big and pretty solid. And with a drink like this, you don't want to over dilute, like I was saying about dilution.
Right.
You want something that holds up through the whole life of your drink. With these drinks with straws, you're going to drink them faster.
I like that.
Probably.
The life of your drink. It's really nice.
So for this, we're going to do an agua fresca. An agua fresca is a Mexican drink, and it's usually not alcohol, but we're going to put some alcohol in it because that's what we do, because that's going to be fun. Sure, that's going to be really fun. You can also do this without rum, but I like putting rum in things. So we're going to start with some pineapple juice. So I'm going to make, this is going to be like a 6 to 8 serving drink. Actually, we're going to start with the mint first. Take that back. We're going to start with our mint. So mint is delicate. It's a little bit temperamental. You have to be kind of careful with your mint. So I picked these mint leaves today. I washed them and picked them, but I was very gentle with them because you don't want to. The reason is all the flavor in mint is in the capillaries in the leaves, and so you don't want to smush them until you're ready for it.
Okay.
So then, you can do this with me actually if you want. Grab a little handful of mint. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna smack it. So we're gonna.
All right.
So we're gonna make a cup with our hands. I'll show you first. And we're gonna that.
That's it?
That's it. Do that.
Oh,
one more time. There you go.
Clearly, I've had too many cocktails.
And then smell it. You smell how all that mint flavor came out once you did that?
Yes, that's lovely.
So if you're making any drinks, and throw it in there. So if you're making drinks at home with like mojitos or anything with a little mint in it, you want to just
some more?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
I got to properly smack
Yeah.
them in.
Okay, ready? Yeah, nice. Do it. Perfect. So we're gonna start with that mint, and then we're gonna add. So typically, if I was doing one serving, I would do 2 ounces, but I'm gonna do 6 ounces of this pineapple juice, since we're gonna do a big pitcher of this. Start with pineapple
agua
juice.
fresca, in Mexico, agua fresca is usually a fruit drink that's just water and sugar and fruit juice, right?
Yeah, so that's just generally what it is. So there's watermelon, there's, let me do this right. There's watermelon, there's, berry, there's all different kinds. At my friend's wedding, the day after their wedding, they had someone come and do agua fresca and breakfast burritos. And I will always remember that agua fresca. I will always like thank that woman as she was making like breakfast burritos and agua fresca for me, because it was so wonderful after a night of dancing, and just so refreshing. It's so light. It's so kind of healthy and delicious.
And the burritos are there for support.
They really were. It was really great.
So this was just lime juice and mint so far.
So we have lime juice, mint, and pineapple juice.
And pineapple juice, of course.
So then I made some simple syrup at home. So I am also on a mission about simple syrup. You do not need to buy simple syrup. So if you see it in the store, I'm sorry to all you simple syrup companies, you don't need to buy it. You can make it at home. So simple syrup, the reason they call it that is because it's simple. So we make it with 1 part sugar, 1 part water. You can make it with any kind of sugar, granulated sugar. You can do kind of fancy. This is kind of a fancy, more granulated sugar. You don't even need to cook it. So you don't need to cook it. I know, this is crazy. It's crazy. It just.
Tell me. I always cook simple syrup.
You don't need to cook it. So when you cook it, you actually break down the molecules. So you break it, complicated, but basically you don't even need to cook it, because you're gonna break it down and you're gonna change the structure of the sugar. So what you wanna do is just put the sugar, 1 cup sugar, 1 cup water, in a cup, a bowl, a bottle, whatever you want. You can just shake it a little bit and then just let it settle. And because of the way those chemicals combine, it just turns into sugar water.
How long does that take?
5 minutes.
What?
5 minutes.
I've been doing it all wrong for so long.
3 years.
Thank you.
Everyone does. You're welcome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces here. So just a little bit of sugar. This pineapple juice is already going to be really sweet, but I'm just going to add a little bit of sugar just to amplify it. And then we are going to add our Appleton rum. So we'll do our Appleton rum on top of that.
Now I have to ask you about this extremely handsome jigger.
Yeah, this is a beautiful one. So this is a Bell jigger. It's made by Cocktail Kingdom, which is a vendor of kind of the best cocktail tools you can buy in the business. It's always sort of cocktailkingdom.com.
Yeah, okay.
It's a good friend of mine, Greg Baum, runs it, and they're kind of really at the forefront of the tools. And so they work with bartenders. They look at ergonomics. They look at what bartenders are using. They look at historical photos and etchings and try and copy things like that. So their tools are always like a badge of honor. If you
Can I hold it?
Of course you can. Yeah, it's also just like such a pretty color.
It feels good. Feels good to hold. There's just enough space here for your fingers. Some of the others are too fat. This is really nice.
Yeah, it's a nice one. It has like a nice weight to it. Yeah, and like I don't know if you're nerdy and you're at home, like I just play with my jiggers sometimes. Like I just play with them and play with them in my hand and just get used to them and sort of get faster at throwing them around, because then you don't need to. A lot of times I see people stop and turn around and turn it over, but they're designed to just be able to flip in and out.
Wow, so much of bartending really is the pageantry, isn't it?
It's all show. I love. No, but the thing I love. Okay, so I was saying. So I was a terrible waitress. I couldn't sell wine. But the thing I was good at was being creative and coming up with ideas and telling stories, because I was an actress. I mean, I was okay. I looked like everyone else in LA, so that was the problem. So I'm just going to give this a little bit of a stir, just to integrate everything. And then I'm going to add in some limes. So I was good at like all that stuff. And the thing about cocktails is you don't really drink them with food. It's not a normal thing to do. And so I started bartending, and I fell in love with it because I loved the spirits and I loved the stories behind them. And I connected to this in such an interesting and fun way. And I loved bars. I loved going into, interesting and different bars. And I found bars very theatrical. And so I found this world that was sort of adjacent to my world that I could fully step into, and I loved it. And so I kind of just, I'm the only person that lied to her parents about moving to New York. I said, I'm gonna go be an actress, and they're like, go for it! And then I went to become a bartender.
Secretly harboring dreams of bartender.
My dream of becoming a bartender.
That's great.
So yeah, and I found this incredible community of people that were passionate, and here now we can practice our stirring.
Okay.
So this is fun, so you can do it. Do you want to try stirring?
I'll give it a go.
Okay.
I've always admired the wrist twirl.
Okay.
So can you keep your...
So there you go. So you want to...
Right.
So the way I do it,
of the spoon
I put
against.
hand like that.
All right.
There you go. Yeah.
So
and
like
then
this.
Just, there you go.
And then when do you twirl?
Actually, here. There you go.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. This is a big one. This is a little bit harder, but you got it. Just keep the back of the spoon. There you go. You got it. You got it. This is a really big cup. So yeah, you got it.
I can see how I could get good at this.
There you go. You got it. You got it. You did great. That's perfect. Okay,
it's
that's
lovely
enough.
to hold, though.
It's funny. So then we're just gonna Have our mint in here. So because we stirred it, I'm not going to shake it. If this was a one-off cocktail, I would shake it. But we wanted that dilution, so that's why we gave it a stir. We're gonna add a little bit more ice, and then this you can just serve.
So stirring dilutes it just gently, and shaking dilutes it profoundly. Is that sort of
yes, yeah. And the thing about shaking is that you aerate, so you're adding fluffiness. So when you're doing a drink like that old fashioned, you actually don't want to aerate it. You don't want bubbles in there.
Okay.
That's really the thing. The dilution is sort of the same, but with like the horchata, I wanted it to be fluffy, and I wanted that texture. So when you stir or shake, it's really about the texture you're going for. Typically, as a rule of thumb, I do, if there's lime juice or citrus, lemon juice, fruit juice, I shake it. If there's just straight spirits, then stir.
Stir. So of course I'm thinking of James Bond. So
Right.
you're saying basically no fluffy drinks for James Bond.
No fluffy drinks for James Bond. Yeah.
Makes
Well,
sense.
he says shaken not stirred, but he really actually drank a stirred drink. So that's a whole thing.
That's what
that's
I'm
a whole
remembering.
nother thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but he actually drank them stirred.
Yes. So agua fresca with some rum in it. I can have one too. Here we go.
I hope so.
Yeah. You can keep up with you. And Louise is never invited back to Sunset Magazine.
Cheers.
That would get us all into trouble.
Oh, so nice. The pineapple's really coming through.
Pineapple, the lime, the citrus.
The citrus.
Oh, I forgot the pineapples. I'm the worst.
Here you go.
I'm fired. No more brand jobs for you. No more jobs.
Still
there we go.
really good.
Okay,
The proof
throw that
of
in
this
there.
is
There we
that
go.
if
There
you
you go.
don't have fresh pineapple, it's still a really good drink.
But I woke up early and I cut pineapple, so let's throw the pineapple in there too. Sorry, my bad. I forgot the pineapple.
And a little mint.
A little mint. Yeah, you can do that.
Like
that
that.
works.
Now,
yeah.
would you crush the mint that's going in for garnish?
No, I would just leave
You would
that.
just leave it.
I would
Okay.
actually, I would do something a little bit, what we call, you just brush it across your hand like that.
Whoa.
And that just opens up the flavor.
This is so fascinating. Now, what is the slapping against your brushing?
Yeah.
You're brushing the mint leaf. Okay. We were smacking it earlier.
We're smacking
now
it and then we're
brushing
brushing it. Yeah, so the
Wow.
mint you can get a little bit fun and cheeky with
This
if
is
you
great.
want.
Nice.
I just feel like rum and pineapple together. You can't go wrong with it.
You cannot.
No, and it's so easy. It's easy to do at home. It's easy, it's easy to play with this idea and come up with kind of riffs on it. You could add cinnamon to it. You could add heat or spice, something spicy like a chili to this would be delicious.
I could see that.
And what's nice is as it sits in this pitcher, it's actually going to get better and better. It's going to dilute, you're going to get more flavor. So you can get the oil from the lime wheel. It's all going to start to integrate. So it's a drink that you can make and then just set out on your table for your friends and have everyone try it. And it can kind of spend the day with you.
Really nice. So, like, day meaning like until the ice melts, sort of
Yeah,
thing?
until the ice melts. Yeah.
It'll be gone long before that.
Yeah. But it's a nice afternoon kind of sunset sipper. So, last but not least, I need the chip ice.
You need the chip ice.
We're gonna do an ode to Joy. So Joy Spence is our master blender for Appleton rum, and her favorite. She was like, she goes, "Oh no, now we're just gonna get in trouble."
Sorry, I'm not lighting the stove.
She says,
Accidentally with my hip.
she says the drink of Jamaica is rum and coconut, and says no one. She said no one does that. No one drinks that. And she goes, "Do you see them with the coconut?" And there's a rum in that coconut, which I really love. So we're gonna do
Stealth rum intake.
And also, it's a coconut. Actually, I'll make two of these so we can each have one.
Oh,
So-
she's so nice. She's so nice. It's better to share.
So I have this really cool tool. So before we started today, I have this really neat tool. It's a coconut opener. And it's really neat. It's a little official. It's not expensive. I got it on Amazon. It was really easy. So the idea was that we just put this over here, and then I took the mallet and cracked it down, and then pulled it off, and it just pulls off the top for you.
This is great. How long have these been around?
Game changer. I don't know, but they're not very long.
Not very long, because
not very long.
the general method is to score around the top of the coconut.
Oh my God, it's a nightmare.
And then do this laborious stabbing with a knife, and you feel like you're from The Shining or something. It's terrible.
I would not have done. Usually, it's like a guy with a machete, and
Or a machete.
I wasn't gonna come on Facebook Live and accidentally kill you, so I wasn't gonna do that.
I appreciate that.
Yes. So we're gonna do a half ounce of lime. So we're just gonna do a little bit of lime juice. Actually, we're gonna do a full ounce. So we're gonna do 2 ounces of lime. Since I'm making 2, we're gonna do 2 ounces because I like lime and coconut. I think that's delicious. We're gonna do 2 ounces of Appleton Estate.
So this is a pretty versatile rum.
This is a really versatile rum, and I think people don't see Jamaican rum necessarily all the time. They kind of put it, there's so much rum in the world, there's so many things to do with rum, and rum is so versatile that I think sometimes like people go, oh no, that's what I use Jamaican rum for, that's what I use, that's what agricole is for. So I like looking at Jamaican rum in a different way and kind of thinking of different ways to drink it and work with it. So then I have this coconut water that I filtered from here, and we're gonna put these in here, and we're gonna do.
You just poured it straight out of the coconut.
I just poured out of the coconut. I strained it because I was being hospitable, and I wanted to give you. I didn't want to give you any extra bits in there or anything, any coconut dust. But that's all coconut water. And then we're going to add.
Coconut water itself is full of nutrients and vitamins.
It's so good for you. It's to me, it's incredibly hydrating. Sorry. It's incredibly hydrating. So it's like after I run every day. After I run, I pretty much always have a coconut water because it kind of gets your electrolytes back up without having to have like extra sugar or artificial sweetener or color. So I'm putting a little bit of ice in our coconuts.
This is very fun. Right into the coconut.
And we're gonna okay, so here's a good example because I don't have much ice in here. So when I shake, so when you put it in a tin, put your tin on, and you just give it a little tap, and that makes a seal.
Okay.
So then I'm gonna hold it, and so this is a bartender trick. So because a lot of times the impulse is to shake it this way, but if I shook it this way, it would get all over you. So I'm gonna take on the responsibility myself, the danger myself, and I'm gonna live a little bit wild. I'm gonna turn this way just in case, and I'm gonna give it a shake. So as I shake it, see how my hand sort of holds the whole tin here? And then this just kind of secures it. And as I shake it, in my mind, I'm thinking of sending the liquid this way. So I'm not going back and forth, I'm sending it in a circle. So I'm gonna go around like that. And I'm thinking about it whipping around in kind of an oval.
Okay.
And I'm whipping it up. So then oftentimes this can get a little tricky to open, so I just hit it there and that breaks the seal. So when you see bartenders doing that, that's what they're doing. They're not just showing off. I mean, they're also showing off, but they're not exclusively showing off.
Yeah. Well, now, why is this an advantage over the cocktail shakers you see that have the little nubbin tops?
Those things drive me crazy.
They get stuck a lot.
They get stuck a lot. They're hard. I think they're difficult. I think this is easier to build a drink in. I think I get more space to make the drink in these.
Oh, good point.
You get more. That was perfect. That was a perfect amount. And then we just have to put the top back on, right? Of course. So then, let's see. So we're on this mission against straws. So I bought two kinds of metal straws that you can buy. I bought these at Whisk in New York. But you can they're metal, they're reusable, they're washable. I like this one because it has a spoon on it, so I'm gonna give you that one because that's kind of fun. You can like scoop out the fruit on the coconut after.
Yes, tender young coconut. That's the best. Also very good for you. Oh man.
Cheers.
God, where's the beach? That's what we need. Hey, we're both wearing sandals.
We are both wearing sandals. We should go to the beach.
And Louise, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for 5 cocktails in the middle of the workday. Life is good at Sunset.
Oh, and so good.
Obviously at Campari America too.
Absolutely.
So, do you clink a coconut?
You can clink a coconut.
Okay. All right, thanks Facebook.
Thank you, Facebook.
Thanks for joining us.
Get a coconut.
Try one of these for Cinco de Mayo. I promise you, you will not be sorry.
Will not. I can't stop drinking it.